testing for harmful levels of lead, arsenic, and cadmium in 3 different types of multivitamins. For lead, in 2008, there was a study conducted on 324 different multivitamins that tested for lead, and each one was compared to an FDA value for each given age group. They tested for young children, older children, pregnant women, and adult women. And for the children, the average parts per million value was 0.2, and the average for adult women was 0.2, and the average for children was 0.0325 parts per million. And then for arsenic, we will be comparing that to the 0.1 parts per million value that the FDA gives for candy. And then for cadmium, the reference dosage for food is actually 1 part per billion. And for our prediction, we predict that for lead content, we'll be testing for the three different types of multivitamins are a sugar bear hair vitamin for adults, and a Marvel Spider-Man complete multivitamin for children, and then another multivitamin for children. And for the lead content, we predict that the average doses in parts per million will be higher for the sugar bear hair because it is for adults rather than children.
Yeah, so as Isaac said, we're looking at 3 different types of gummy multivitamins. Sugar Bear Hair, if you've heard of it, it was highly endorsed by like the Kardashians and women that were on The Bachelorette, so it's all over their Instagrams. And BuzzFeed did this article, and there was this lab called Labdoor in San Francisco, and they were testing different amounts of lead in these types of multivitamins. So they found that the Sugar Bear Hair lead content was under the FDA amount, which is 0.1 parts per billion. It was 0.075 parts per billion for the serving size of 2 multivitamins. But we've all tried the multivitamin and they taste like candy. So it's really easy if a kid got their hands on that they would overdose kind of on lead and intake way too much lead. And the other 2 multivitamins that we're looking at were posted on Labdoor's website, and they have a ranking for multivitamin quality, and they use multivitamins received D+ and C- rankings. So that's what we're going to be looking at for our samples.
So in order to figure out how much lead content or cadmium or arsenic is in one of our sample, the simplest way of doing it was trying to test for presence of heavy metal, which is basically trying to see if there was any presence of color. However, due to the fact that most of these are parts per million or even parts per billion, it's very hard to do those because the tiny amounts for the color would not show as much. So then the thing we would probably do is end up doing with the UV vis, which is basically the same as the copper test that we do. Is we have a standard sample of 100% lead, arsenic, or cadmium, and use that as a standard solution. And then from our multivitamin, all of that, we will grind it and then have a mixture with depending on the elements, we will mix that in order so that the UV vis could be able to pick up the trace of the color depending on the nanometer. So that's the easiest way that I was able to find to determine how much lead or any heavy metal is in the presence of the sample.
And the reason why we're doing these heavy metals is because they're supposed to be multivitamins, which are supposed to help you and be good for you, especially for the children. And so we know that lead, arsenic, and cadmium have negative effects on the body. For lead, it's more prevalent in children, but adults can get overexposed to lead, which can lead to different type of neurological problems and other issues throughout the body. Cadmium is also highly toxic because the body has no natural uses for it. So being overexposed to that is highly negative to the body. And then arsenic can cause different cancers in a range of systems in the body as well.
So we're hoping to find no arsenic in our
Yeah.
cadmium.
Hopefully none of that.
Is there do they think there's arsenic in some, did you say that?
Yeah, there was, I think in the multivitamins for children, there's trace amounts of arsenic in one of them. I don't remember which one it was, but.
Okay.